It's time for the Jim and Terry Show.
The Jim and Terry Show coming back live in the Hobbit Hole studio in Bob Cage's, and I'm one of your hosts, Terry.
And I'm the other host, Jim, and I'm here with Terry in the Hobbit Hole.
And together we are just wrapping up a coffee, and it's a conversation that requires a stronger brew, I think. What are we talking about now?
Well, what happened is we were in the midst of our pilot's confession of believing in UFOs or UAPs. And we ended that show with you putting a question out. Is there Nazi bases hidden in Antarctica?
That's a thing. That's a real conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy theory. I love conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily believe them.
No, I like your approach to it, which is they're interesting speculations like reading a sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
How much of it is true, we'll never know.
Yeah, and then your imagination can take you to where you want it to go or where you don't want it to go.
Now, we may find the answer to that if the ice continues to melt in Antarctica.
So what do you got a bunch of Nazis going around making little ice packs and putting them on to try to keep hiding
They must be spraying water like they do on the slopes of Collingwood for the ski.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's thawing, it's thawing. So.
Yeah, not much you're going to do.
Well, and of course the horrible part of that is global warming and whatever you think is contributing to that, and I think man does contribute to it. But if you don't think that, it's still happening. Whether it's a natural cycle of nature, it causes havoc around the world. And so you're right. The Antarctic, there's gigantic continent-sized pieces of ice threatening to break off and add, lots of feet to the ocean depth, and which means it can't go down anymore. It's got to go up, which means it takes out your cities.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to climate change and global warming and melting ice except to link it to the possibility of discovering what I've seen in a number of YouTube videos, which is UFOs disappearing into a cavernous cave entrance in Antarctica somewhere. But maybe we will learn once the ice recedes what these things are.
Well, the beauty is, Terry, if these things if they're really what they are, and the conspiracy goes everywhere from they're just a bunch of Germans who are hiding out from the war to a whole civilization down there. Well, I heard one account where there's cities down there, lights and everything else. We need to talk to these people. If we, please don't blow them up. Let's talk to them how they stayed this way for so long, and obviously developed flying objects, and that can outmaneuver ours and still not beat us up. We need to talk to these people.
I think it sounds a lot like Black Panther movies, only change location to the icy wonders of Antarctica, but it's the same kind of speculation of. Whatever that device, that material is, vibranium or something that they use that powers all the Black Panther gear and technology.
Yeah. So what does are they all just really super white, blue-eyed Germans down there?
Well, if you follow the theory of the Nazis, then yeah, they got swastikas painted on their UFOs. But
wouldn't that be just hilarious? I'd have to laugh in my fear.
Well, this again, I think, goes from the 1950s, post-World War II era. Like, what did happen to Hitler? No body. If there's no body, then what's the evidence?
I think there's a lot to the conspiracy. He went to Argentina. Seriously.
Really?
Well, there's all kinds of German connections in Argentina. Fortunes and mansions and leading all the way back to the end of the war.
World War II, yeah.
Artwork and everything else that ended up there. And of course the conspiracy is that Hitler's double died. And would Hitler be bad enough to kill a guy that was acting as his double? Yes, I think he would be. And he fled to Argentina. And that's
well, we do know that enough Nazis fled to South America. We do know that part is true. And we do know that a number of the Israeli, I'm going to call them a SWAT team, whoever the Nazi hunters, have tracked a number of them down in South American countries.
And I just want to point out, Argentina's southern tip, it's only a little boat ride to Antarctic.
Oh, a little boat ride or a little UAP ride?
Yeah, it could be a UAP, yeah. But it's a funny conspiracy. But
It is.
now, I'm sure if enough ice melts anywhere, like in the North Pole too, you're going to find junk, you know?
Well, the North Pole is all ice, all water ice.
yeah.
There's no continent in the North Pole.
Yeah.
The only landmass is in Antarctica, so that's where I'm kind of curious, because we see these YouTube videos and they depict with their nice CG animations the UFOs going into the caverns.
Yeah, that's bull. They didn't get any of those shots.
Well, yeah, I'm still impressed. It takes so little to draw my eyes and say, whoa, I wonder.
I think it's more interesting the great big gigantic one that the ice is melting away from, and there it is stuck in the ice, you know. And I guess the people of Antarctica didn't have enough brains to dismantle it and take away their garbage.
You mean the base?
The base, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's going on there is a little bit scary. The size of the one to break off, the crack. I heard the expression, the ass crack of dawn. That's a big crack.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, well, the Trump tried to, but it didn't work. So for this one in South America, I'm kind of interested to see what is buried in the ice, because a lot of that is accumulated snowfall over thousands and thousands of years. So what is buried there?
Well, haven't they found years ago, didn't they find, like, when they did some drilling, some tropical plants and everything that had
apparently
rotted down there? So maybe the Earth has turned on its axis one or two times in its development.
Possibly.
Or the shifting of the Titanic.
The Titanic plates.
The plates, you know, the plates, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very large. Yeah, it's possible. So all the stuff we don't know. How about the magnetic field shifting?
Will
North always be up there?
Well, what if that happens? I mean, and who are we, little man, to say you can't do that?
What'll it affect our GPS? You won't be able to find your way home.
I can't find my... Anyways, yeah. I don't know what to think about stuff like that, because we know that there's... And would we be warned if scientists knew? Would they let us know if there was a deadly blast from the sun? Would they make an announcement saying, you're dying, you're going to die, this is going to kill us all? Or would they just let us die?
There was a solar flare last week. So.
I know, but what if there was one big enough that would just radiate you and would be all dead in a month? Would they let us know that, or just let us all die in a month?
Oh, fatalism versus realism.
Yeah.
Fatalism meaning, I guess it's going to happen, so
what
who
do you
cares?
think they should do if they know that?
Notify us.
Notify
Pandemonium.
us.
Chaos.
Well, the other thing is maybe then some people can get their lives right or something, you know, go apologize to your husband or wife, or, you know.
If you believe that there's an accounting procedure and there's a naughty and nice list, you want to get it right, get the accountant all squared and zero balance.
Yeah, get your house in order.
Get your house in order, yeah.
Well, there's those who believe that. There's those who don't.
Are we going
still, wouldn't you want to know, even if you didn't believe in anything divine, that maybe you haven't seen your son or daughter in, you know, years?
And you got 12 hours and it's a drivable distance.
Yeah, go visit them.
I don't know if planes will be in the air at that time.
Well, or could they be?
Or could they be? We don't know. I don't know.
Well, there
reminds me of Y2K.
I had a dream last night. Los Angeles got hit by just a devastating earthquake, and
thank goodness you're not a prophet.
Well, yeah, I said a little prayer for them. That's for sure.
And for Jimmy Carter. Remember that episode? He's still around. I don't think he's passed
He's
yet.
still around.
I don't mean to say that in a flippant way, because he's one of the best presidents America's had, up there with Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, a lot of people think so. I've always liked the guy. I just like his spirit, the way in which he is, his kindness.
Well, his faith. He wore it on his sleeve, and in his policies, and in the way he treated people.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Right up until he was like well into his 80s.
Okay.
Still building Habitat for Humanity houses.
Yes.
He's the president, for Pete's sakes.
Yep.
And he can do that. He did that.
And consider other ones who play golf and create havoc.
Yes, I'm well aware of who you mean.
Yes, the name I will not speak of in this. Let's go to other end of the age scenarios. Are we into the apocalypse? It's the end of the world.
As we don't know it.
And do we feel fine?
Well, I mean, look at all the ways in which it could end. As you said, a meteorite slamming into it, into the Earth. This is one of the reasons Elon Musk wants to get off the Earth. Either we're going to do it or something that's going to do it. I'm not so panicky, but war itself could happen. I don't know if I saw the headlines yesterday that the Ukrainian destroyed a major airfield in Russia. Is that true?
I didn't hear about a major airfield. I heard a intelligence gathering plane, like an AWAC, was destroyed on the ground in Belarus.
No, I heard I didn't have a chance to look at it. It showed up on my phone, and I thought,
taking it to the Russians.
Taking it to the Russians, and the Russia pretty well said, "You do that, we're nuking you." So,
yeah, and I don't believe that. But a nuclear annihilation is a real thing because people really do have, country, not peoples, countries really have nukes.
And I got to admit, Putin's acting a little mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you get someone who's nuts in charge of this.
So nuclear annihilation is a possible end of the world. The time clock, the doomsday clock, did advance. It's the closest to midnight it's been since they started measuring it in the post-World War II era. So closest to midnight.
And how many people just pay no attention to that little?
I don't know. Should we pay attention to it, or is it all gloom and doom and naysaying?
I don't know. But I know we're so busy with our lives. I went and watched TV when there was an alien ship. Just
keep it real, keep it in perspective. The Jim and Terry Show, bringing you the end of the world apocalyptic scenarios, brought to you by our sponsor. And who is it this week, Jim? Our stale cup of coffee.
And there's solar flares. Could there not
wiping
be
out electronic circuit boards?
Wiping out. What would we
navigation?
do if we had our system wiped out and it's not going to be fixed for a year?
The Jim
I
and
think
Terry
we'd
Show.
mentally go nuts.
The Jim and Terry Show. We'd have to use the 2 cans and a string.
That's a long string.
It's a very long string. Stay tuned for more musings from the far side. Bye-bye.